Kitchen talk, conversations that cook. Kitchen talk, conversations that cook. What you want to talk about? Kitchen talk, conversations that cook. Kitchen talk, Lisa, Lopre, JT, and friends. Kitchen talk, conversations that cook. Kitchen talk, conversations that cook. What you want to talk about? Kitchen talk, conversations that cook. Kitchen talk, Lisa, Lopre, JT, and friends.
Lisa, Lopre, JT, and friends. Y'all ready to cook up some conversation? Come on.
Kitchen talk.
Let's talk.
All right. Kitchen talk. Conversation
Yes,
that
sir.
cook.
I like that.
Conversation that cook. How you guys
Everybody
been cooking
doing
this
good?
week?
Say
Yes,
again.
ma'am. I said, how you been cooking this week?
This the last week. I'm trying to wind it up.
Doc, you
and
don't have to
looking-
worry about those things anymore.
huh?
Dr. Scott, he doesn't have to worry about grading papers and all that.
Oh, yeah, no, thank the Lord. I tell my time, I miss the people, I don't miss it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. You don't have to grade. Lucky you.
Whew. No, I mean, well, and then like if they ask me to adjunct and come in and teach a course, in a part of a course, I will. But for the most part, yes, done.
I hear you. So, welcome to Kitchen Talk, our virtual series. France Has Frozen. This is what we deal with every week. We either lose JT, France freezes. 1 week I was not able to come in. I was like, wait a minute. So, but you know what?
Here.
We in the theater say the show must go on.
Yes.
It must go on. So, so glad to have you here. Here's JT.
What's happening?
he just pop in just like that.
Right.
Hi.
What's happening?
How are you?
I'm all right. I'm tired, but I'm here.
Hey, it is what it is. We all tired.
Yeah, nobody said camping would be easy.
They didn't say it. But you know what? The reward is greater.
Yeah.
So it's worth it. It's worth it. What's going on, JT?
What's not going on?
Oh, okay.
What's not going on?
Is that that's an easier list for you?
I guess. What's going on with y'all?
A lot and nothing. A lot and nothing. So JT, you remember Marvin from one of our shows that we did previously, one of our tapings.
Great guy.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
He all right.
Yeah.
It's always one hater in the building.
Hey, well, that's all right. Haters become your motivators.
I will. So Marvin is our kitchen talk money guy. That's what we're gonna label you, Marvin. Our kitchen talk money guy.
All right.
So I wanted us to talk about I made it just a broad kind of thing as far as finance, But I think one of the things that we're seeing, and one of the things that is really becoming a reality, is that money talks, right?
Correct. Mm-hmm.
And it speaks volumes. Like, we're living in a time where people are talking with money more than they are concerned about lives and safety.
Correct.
So can you speak to that, Marvin?
Well, I think, because this life is a combination of both. You want to be healthy, but at the end of the day, you gotta live. So it's the Bible talks about what good is to gain the world and lose your soul, right? Would you rather be a millionaire and be an invalid? Would you rather be alive with all your health and strength and be dirt poor? You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's a thing of, you know what, I have developed and I've gotten these bills now, and these bills have to get paid because we are creatures of habit. And so we are accustomed to our lifestyle or this current habit that we have. And now this disruption hasn't changed the fact that I still have a habit. And so mentally I struggle because my habit, my fix, I need that fix. I need to feel this habit. And now that's becoming difficult.
So why? True. So how do we, is there a way to find the middle ground, especially when we're dealing with, first of all, especially when we're dealing with a pandemic, right?
Correct.
So how do you find the middle ground on that? Or is it a middle ground?
Well, see, the difficult thing is this, right? So what would be ideal in this time, right, is for everybody to be able to stay home, right? And for let this thing die out, right? But the downside to that is how many small businesses are not going to make it? You know what I'm saying? So you're looking at 50 to 60 or more % of small businesses are falling to the wayside because of this, right? So how many homes, that are now going to fall apart? You follow what I'm saying? So the thing is, the middle ground is if we were prepared before. You know what I mean? Financially, if we had 6 months of salary set aside, then yeah, that's the middle ground. If we were financially prepared, but most of us aren't financially prepared. So that we don't have that room where we can sit down and say, I'm gonna take 6 months off doing this thing and we're gonna be okay. You follow what I'm saying? So preparedness is the middle ground.
What'd you say, JT?
Probably take about 2 or 3 days off, but that's about it.
Right.
Exactly. And that's the weekend. That's only the days that they give you anyway.
Crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's so important that we understand wealth, and because when we talk about finances, that's what we're really talking about. It's managing our wealth. How do we develop wealth? And we don't want to become rich. We want to become wealthy. So we want to be, healthy, wealthy. We want to be wise. And so during times like these, it's now we got to get to a place of what habits am I willing to get rid of? Because I can't continue to spend money any kind of way. You know what I'm saying? So now what habits do I want to get rid of? Like some people, they want to follow, obey the stay at home rules because they had to get their hair cut. You follow what I'm saying? So different things like that, and understanding that because we're not prepared, I have to think about those people who need to work because I'm not able to put money in their house. I'm not able to put money, and take care of their children. So I have to understand that those individuals need to work. But one thing or one side of this is like when I was in the Marine Corps, right? And when we went to a war, right, we got paid imminent danger pay. We were in a battleground, so we got imminent danger. We get combat pay. So our pay goes up. You follow what I'm saying? So one of the things now is that during this time, this is imminent danger. Some individuals may need to have a bump in pay while they're in this imminent danger zone. So because they are going to work, they are doing these things, and so that now becomes incentive because some people can't stay home. They just can't stay home because they can't afford it. But and the business says, I can't let you stay home because I need you. Well, if you need me and I got to come into the danger zone, the war zone, increase my pay for this time.
And I was told that we were supposed to be, and I work for FedEx, and I was told that we were supposed to be receiving hazard pay, but we never saw a dime of it. Somebody got it, we just did, so we didn't.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
All of us are in hazard right now. Doc,
say
would you say
again,
that?
JT? No, France, what were you saying?
I said, would you say that all of us are in hazard mode right now, so we all should get a bump in pay?
No.
No.
See, and therein lies part of the problem. Everybody wants the increase, even though that increase may not be due for everybody. You know what I'm saying? But there are individuals who, like, for example, we haven't stopped going out to get something to eat. We haven't stopped. Right.
That's correct.
And the truth be told, if we don't get anything to eat, these restaurants are not going to make it.
That's correct.
So for example, if everybody stayed home and we didn't go to a restaurant, we just cooked food at home and stayed in. When you come out of this thing, how many restaurants would you have?
Probably zero.
So but in that situation, the employees are in hazard situation. You know what I'm saying? So those employees may need hazard pay.
Yeah.
Because
so
they have
to define who's in hazard and who's not. That's where you're gonna run into some of your dilemmas.
Well, yeah, I mean, but it's about what's necessity. What's necessary and what's not.
So if we stay in this position for a long period of time, then a lot of the things that we consider not necessary will become necessary. Like, give an example, like going back to school. The kids are getting ready to go back. It's not necessary that they have to go into class. They can do it from home, but the teacher is still exposed. So, now there's that.
Well, but think about this. So in some situations, you're right, the teachers can do it from home. But there are a lot of situations we can't take for granted that everybody, still don't have Wi-Fi in their home.
That's correct. That's correct.
So everybody's not going to do it. And then there's some parents who say, if my child don't go to school, my child ain't going to get an education because I ain't the one that can teach them. You follow what I'm saying? So with that being said, if we're going to say, okay, they're going to go back to school, those teachers are now in a hazard situation. I feel like, as a whole, those teachers should get paid more.
Hazard pay.
They should get paid hazard pay.
And so in looking at how we look at finance as a whole, so all of that is feeding this whole debate on if they go back to school, if they don't go back to school, if they don't go back to school, but the parent has to go to work. So what does that dynamic look like? So when we talk about how money speaks and it speaks volumes, it's even past our day-to-day paycheck to paycheck. It's even broader than that. It goes to the economy and this whole big old push to open it back up.
Right. So like the Bible says, a feast is for laughter, wine maketh merry, but money answers all things.
All things.
Yeah.
So let me ask you a question. For the answer of all things, how can we build wealth? You were talking about the wealth, but how can we build wealth in this time frame?
Okay.
What would you suggest?
Well, think about this. During the Great Depression, people became millionaires.
That's correct.
It's about finding a niche and answering that problem. You know what I'm saying? Some people see the problem and you see potential, right? If you can find someone's problem that you can solve, those with the money will pay you, right? Think about this. Uber Eats, they are getting paid millions of dollars because they saw a need and they said, we'll fill that need, right? So you got Uber Eats, Bike Squad, you got all these different people say, hey, don't worry about it. We'll bring it to you, right?
We'll bring it to you.
So they saw a need and they said, we'll fill that need. So even during times like this, there is a need and there's a niche for you. And if you can find that and you can work in that, you can still getting paid. You can increase income. That's not necessarily wealth, but you're going to be able to increase your income. When you start talking about building wealth now, because wealth now is getting to a place where your money works for you.
Mm-hmm.
That's correct.
So, you want to get to a place where you build income, and then you make your money, employees. Your money becomes a willing employee that goes to work for you, and so that's the thing. And the only thing your money asks is that you take care of it. You treat it right. You know what I mean? Give it a good working condition, and your money's going to be happy and satisfied to work for you every day. While you're sleeping, you want your money to work.
That's correct.
Yes.
So where do you suggest I send my money to? Because my money needs to be employed right now.
My money need to be employed too.
There's a lot of people online that's probably thinking, where do I need to send my money right now? Because it needs to work. I could be at home. My money could be working. So where do you suggest?
And so the thing is this, it's starting, you can start with small amounts. Right now they got things like Acorn, they got things like Robinhood. Those are things are for the basic home investor, right? Just for you to get started putting money aside. But then I recommend that once you build up enough wealth, I recommend you hire a professional. My money goes, I have a guy at Northwestern Mutual. That's my money guy, and so he's building my wealth. Think about this. Even during times like this, my money is growing.
It's on the job.
It's on the job. So that's all I'm saying. So you put enough money aside, and then you hire a professional, someone who can do those things, and then there are other things that you can do that you can get involved in that can also help you build wealth. I don't try not to get into that right now, but there are different things like people doing Forex and things like that. I don't want to get into that now because Forex is very volatile. You know what I mean? It's not for everybody. It's not for everybody. But again, those are still ways where, guess what? If I put $500 in Forex and at the end of 6 months, right, I can have, I'm just going to use a small number. I can have $1,000, right? That meant my money doubled in 6 months, right?
Right.
If I can make my money double in 6 months, you can't find a bank that'll make your money double like that. You follow what I'm saying? But again, it's not for everybody. And even when I'm talking about this, there are things out there, multi-level marketing. I'm not necessarily talking about the multi-level marketing aspect of it. I'm just saying there's just different things that you can do. You just got to be open, and then you got to find people who have the knowledge that you can talk to. If you find someone to talk to you, mentor you, then you can find your way and work through this part.
So let's get this comment from Sandra. Hey, Sandra, all the way in Washington State.
What's going on, Sandra?
So she says, it seems that finding a need to fill requires everyone to be exceptional. How does the regular person who wants to be an employer, a teacher, etc., build wealth?
Okay. So think about this, though. The idea of delivering food, did I take an exceptional person? It took somebody to come up with the idea.
Yeah, it took somebody.
Yeah. And so that's what I'm saying. It doesn't take you to be some exceptional wise person. It just be able to come up with the idea. Now, some ideas require people who can now back you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And some ideas require backing or whatever, you know. But at the end of the day, it does. And again, for example, if you are a school teacher, you don't make a whole lot of money, right? So they're not making a whole lot of money a year, but that's still, if I learn, because money management is 80% behavior, 20% skill. So if I modify some of my behaviors, I can find money to put aside to begin to invest, you know. And again, that's why they have these apps, because they're saying, even I think I might have said this on one show before. I bought a treadmill and a weight set with loose coins, because every time I would break $1, I would put it in a jar. I wouldn't spend my change. I would just put it in the jar, put it in the jar, put it in the jar. And so one day when I finally said, okay, I'm going to roll it to see how much I had enough to pay for a treadmill and a weight set. So I got a gym in my garage, but I paid for it like that. So it doesn't take an exceptional person just to begin to do those little things.
You know what I want to ask you, Doc? What do you think about the new? It's not a phenomenon. It's catching steam. The circle groups,
the Susu or Zuzu, something like that.
Yeah, what do you think about the Susus?
Well, to me, I mean, I know people who got in it and they made money, right? I know, but I also know people who they got in it and they got stuck. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like multi-level marketing with anything. It works, but everybody has to be willing to continue to do what?
Everybody got to. That's correct.
Everybody got to be willing to continue to work it. You can get a group of friends and build up. If you got enough people in that group, you guys can work that and do that, you know, and take care of each other the same way. But again, everybody has to be willing to work. If you get in and one person stops, you know, like with that, everybody got to bring in 2 people every week, you know.
Yeah.
2 people.
Well, you know what? They have modified it in ways where now you don't have to bring in the 2 people. You just have to come in, but we need a lot more people to come in. So the energy has to keep going.
Yeah. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
I thought it's an interesting, and I still kind of like the concept, because it is building wealth within a group of communities. So, you know, we talk about personal wealth building, but what about community wealth building, especially in a time of Black Lives Matter, you know, racial unrest? You know, what do you think? What are your concepts on that?
Well, I mean, I've always felt like it takes a community, you know. And I always feel like it would be great if everybody was doing their part, and when someone has a need, we're able to step in and fill that need. You know what I'm saying? And so that is great, and those things are important. But again, this goes back to you're in a situation where everybody has to do their part. And so you get a lot. Think about what you just said, you know, with the Susu or whatever it's called, right? Think about this. Most people get in it, but they're not getting in it with the mindset of community wealth building. They're getting in it with the mindset of, oh, this is an easy way for me to make some money. You know, so and I see somebody says the right group will make anything work, and that's the key. That's the key. That's right. If you have the right group, it works for you. You know, but that's why you got to know your circle. You got to know your circle. You got to know who you're working with. You know, if you do those things, I feel like you should be okay. I mean, everything won't be perfect, but I know if people in my circle, if they have a need and I got it, they get it. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think a lot of times, though, some people may feel, for example, I'll just use me for example. A lot of times I'm in positions to where I can help others, but can others reciprocate and do the same Same for me. You follow what I'm saying? And you have people who will feel like that. You know,
that's why I like the concept, because it's one thing to be the man on the hill. It's another thing to have many men on the hill with you. So knowing that, you know what, I helped JT out, I helped Lisa out, I helped Doc out, but you know what, they can also help me out. So we uplifted Lisa. Now Lisa's a multi-millionaire, you know, Doc is a multi-millionaire, JT's a multi-millionaire, and we're just helping each other to grow.
Now now it's your time to become a multi-millionaire.
Right.
And I understand that's what a lot of what you do.
Okay, so JT, what did you say?
What's up?
What did you say?
I was telling friends I ain't gonna leave him out there. I was telling friends I'm not gonna leave him out there. If all three of us gonna be millionaires, Friends gonna be a millionaire too. I ain't
It only makes sense. It only makes sense because we're lifting each other up.
Right.
Yeah. I was talking to someone the other day. I was talking to someone the other day, and we were talking about, building wealth and things like that. Part of the problem, one of the problems, I can't speak for everybody, but one of the problems I find in our culture is impatience. Everybody wants to be, if we're going to do it as a group, I got to be first. You follow what I'm saying? And so, but like they said, the right group makes everything. I mean, if you got the right people in your corner, the right people working with you, I really feel like, you can make it work. Growing up in the projects, right? Growing up in the projects, I don't remember going hungry. We never got everything. We never had everything we wanted or whatever, but we never went hungry because there were a group that always worked together. And I can remember if we went fishing and my mom, we caught a whole bunch of fish. We're going to clean those fish. And then my mom will say, go down and ask Miss Jane if she wants some fish. Go and ask. And we're going to, but that was the community. The right group will make it work.
Right. And so this concept of the susu or whatever, it's not new. It's not. I think we're getting involved now because it's like a little fad or whatever, but it's the village. If the village comes together and takes care of the village.
Correct.
And so we have gotten away from the village for whatever reason, whether it was way back to slavery and them separating us, or the new where we have a way now of, okay, I'm in the upper class, but you in the lower class, so I don't want to have to deal with you. Like you were saying earlier, I done got mine, I done got out, but I'm not reaching back. And so for whatever reason, our mindsets, even when I was watching John Lewis services today, and you could even hear it in the accolades about him. He was so determined that it was a reach back. When he talked about, they talked about how much he loved young people. All of it was a reach back. For whatever reason, we've gotten away from the village.
Yeah.
Even especially when it comes to money, it's like taboo. It's like nobody wants to talk about it.
Lisa,
go ahead,
when I heard about the susu, it wasn't new to me because my family did that. Like my father's side, actually my mother's side too, is a large family. So they would put money aside and say, hey, look, everybody's going to put a certain amount a month. This month is going to be your month. Next month is going to be my month to take the pot. I think we just kind of, like you said, got away from it. But I think, like we talked about earlier, with the right group, with the right mindset, we could really push it and make it work. That's the way to build. That's just me, Doc. I think it's another way that we can build wealth and put our money to work.
And I was just going to say, speaking of that mindset, I've also run into a few people because I'm in one, and we've been doing pretty good. But when you try to invite other people, you telling them about it. And it's something about our culture, our Black people, when you telling them about it, it automatically triggers pyramid scheme. I mean, that was I don't believe that, man.
Fear
So
factor,
you mean to tell me, yeah, you mean to tell me you made this, you got that, blah blah blah, just from this? Yeah, I'm showing it to you, and I'm trying to explain this to one of my people that I'm not gonna get you involved in something that I wouldn't do myself. Right. Like, nah. And the thing about it is, a lot of people, when it comes to us, they're not gonna believe it until they see it. Mm-hmm. And even when I showed it, you still didn't believe. I was lying. What? Oh, go ahead.
Doc, why we like that? Like, it's skepticism. And it's not even with just the susu. It's also with like the stock market. You talked about Acorn. Acorn is another good app. I use Robinhood. I'm using a lot of the things that you talked about, but I had to get out of that fixed mindset to say, you know what? I at least try it. You know, $20, $100, let it go out and work for me. But we're so skeptical about the entrepreneurship side of it. We need to get that.
We've been duped. Things have been stolen from us. Our very thoughts, inventions, and ideas have been stolen.
I got a quote for you. I heard this week.
I'm not saying me. I'm just saying.
No. I know it's not you. I had a quote that I wanted to call you about that I heard, and I said, "Oh, I got to tell Lisa." The quote goes like this: "We closed our. They came and gave us the Bible. So we closed. We had the land. They had the Bible. We closed our eyes. They gave us the Bible. They took the land."
Yeah.
Did you get it? Like, that is crazy.
Yeah.
Hey, but you got to listen. You got to watch how you say that to Christian folks, though. You got to watch how you say that to the Christians, though.
You better, because I'm one of them.
God, hey,
I want you to know that Christianity was in Africa before the slave traders came. So
listen, I'm a Christian man too. So, but it made me laugh.
So don't me laugh. There won't be none.
But why? Okay, so let me bring y'all back. Come back with me. Come back with me. So so Dr. Scott, Marvin, can you speak to why is money so taboo with us?
Well, I mean, one of the problems in the mindset is one, oppression. Mm-hmm. When you have a group of people who have been fought, you know what I'm saying? It becomes, you know, think about this. We've had cities who were very wealthy. Yep. And the idea of this city being wealthy caused people to be killed.
Yeah.
I mean, let's just be honest with it. So that fear sometimes is passed down. And so you don't want to talk about what you have, and because you don't want to stir nobody up and get them upset. You follow what I'm saying? That's one aspect of it. The other aspect of it is when you're coming out of a situation and you're starting to come into money. Think about this. Most people who don't have, when they get money, what's the first thing they want to do? They want to get
the biggest, colorful, you know, the biggest thing they could get to show it off that they got it.
Right, because to them the things are the wealth. Right. You know. Mm-hmm. And so it's getting those things. And then we've been taught to strive for success instead of being successful. Mm. You know, and there's a difference because when you're striving for success, it's more about yourself. Right. But when you try to be successful, it's about, well, what am I doing and am I accomplishing that mission? Mm. And giving back to others and thinking about others and doing those different types of things to be successful, to have those goals in place, and it goes beyond just about you. So, but when you have a group of people who've been fought, you got all these different mindsets in. So think about this, even media portrayal, right? Media portrayal for so long has portrayed us as the thugs, as the violent, So I was talking to somebody earlier, we were talking about we need to be tougher on crime, right? But then who are the criminals? In their minds, we are the criminals, so you're actually being tougher on Black folks. You follow what I'm saying? That's the media portrayal. I mean, media portrayal talks about Black on Black crime, like such thing as white on white crime. You follow what I'm saying? So even in the media, all these things help to fix a mindset within a group of people. So now here it is. You think about, I want to go out and be the best employee I can be for an employer versus let me go out and be the best entrepreneur I can be so that I can hire employees.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. I really do think that it is ingrained, but we have to learn how to be outliers to say, you know what, I need to break away. So I don't know what it's going to take. I guess thinking about it, I think it's really just going to take education. I was thinking of, how do we start to share that information with our next generation to say, hey, you have the ability to have the ideas to create, to design, to build, and do some of the things that you're doing now for yourself.
But I think about this. Just the fact that you brought up the suit, right? Right. Somebody who's listening is going to go back and now look into that. You follow what I'm saying? And then they heard you say it works. I know people who've done it and it worked for them. You follow what I'm saying? So just that it makes a difference, But the other thing is like you're saying, education. But it has to, we got to start younger, and we got to teach them how to manage money and what's more important. Right now, what's more important is designer. Right. And creative. So to them, it's I want to have the polo or whatever, that's going to cost more. So I take the little money I do have and I put it on that, and not thinking of from the standpoint of invested. You follow what I'm saying? We should teach our kids. And these are things that, me growing up, I didn't know. And when I first got married, I didn't know. So, I learned these things through getting hit across the head. I done been through the bad financial situations. I done been through all those different things. Right. And that's what pushed me to say, you know what? I need to do better, Right. So, but it's about starting younger, teaching them about money. I tell my boys all the time, don't stop acting poor. And they say, well, what do you mean by that? It's the mindset, right? In other words, just because you got money, don't see how fast you could spend it. Because that's not how I taught you. That's not how we live. You know what I'm saying? Right. Stop acting poor. But what happens is they're looking at the people around them and they want to fit in with that group. Right. So they're trying to fit in with that group. So they want to have the new this and new that. Because I just tell them all the time, I can afford to get you a new Xbox, but we ain't getting it. Right. Listen.
My dad did with me. He said when the Nintendo first came out, first off, he didn't buy it. We had to work for it and buy our own Nintendo. Right. We lost it and we had to buy it again twice. But he wouldn't buy us any games. He said, if you want new games, you have to win the games that you already have. So until you win those games, then even with my own money now, you can't go buy something new until you use what you already have. And it taught me a valuable lesson to this day. I'm not the one to go out and get it. I want to, maintain my resources, just like you said, find out how can I grow it and multiply it as much as possible And then when it's used and I can't do with it anymore, okay, now let's get something new.
Yeah. So one of the questions that you ask somebody is this: when they get ready to buy something, right? You get ready to make a purchase. What's the first question do you ask yourself? Do you ask yourself, is it on sale? Do you ask yourself, can I afford it? Or do you ask yourself, do I need it? You know what I'm saying?
I need it.
If it's anything besides I need it, now the question becomes, why am I spending this money? You follow what I'm saying? We have to understand that, yes, there are some people who can spend money like that because they got it. Right. But if I don't have it like that, then I can't spend it like that. And I need to build wealth and make my wealth, make the money work for me.
JT, you look like he just stepped on your toes or something. What's going on?
Man, he stepped on my whole foot.
And your back.
I'm not gonna lie. I've been one of the people. I'll ask myself, do I need it? And then I'll be like, you know what? I don't care. I'm getting it.
I deserve it. It's mine.
I've worked hard. But you really are speaking the truth, though. I understand that. I'll stop making purchases.
I like the fact that you say, do I need it? But I also like the fact when you say, do I want it? And if I want it, I should be able to get it if I have the resources. If I have to put it on a way, it don't make no sense.
It's a lot of people spending the money that they don't have.
Well, but see, this is the thing. This is what I say, right? I tell my students this in college, right? I tell them, remember, life is like an annihilator, right? Have some fun now, save some fun for later, right? If you have all your fun now and eat up all your annihilators now, you won't have any for later. Same with your money. It's okay, because it doesn't make sense to save all this money and then die. Then whose is it? So you do want to live now. But again, you got to live within the means of what your finances say, because remember, you're also going towards a goal. Your goal is, I don't want to have to work when I get 65. I don't want to have to. I want to what? Retire. If I'm working, it's because I'm doing what I want to do. So I got to remember that I'm working towards that goal.
And so I heard a thing the other day, a tip, and it said, if you're getting ready to make a purchase, we lost friends. If you're getting ready to make a purchase, if it costs $20, can you buy it and put $20 in your savings? And if you can't do both, you can't afford to get it. And I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you want to save what you're same as you're spending, especially if you're buying a want.
Right.
It's different if you get in a need. Right. But if you're buying a want, then whatever I spend on my want, I should be able to put that aside.
Right. So I want an Escalade, but I can't save that. Can that be a need? Can I need that though?
A car can be a need. Yeah. I mean, depending on how, but now the type of car. So this is what I say.
No, don't go on. The car is the need. Let's start.
Hold on, let me get it out.
My thing is,
I don't have a problem with buying an Escalade as long as you don't pay full price for the Escalade.
Mm-hmm.
You
gotta be negotiation.
Well, it's not on that. You got to be willing to travel. When I go looking for a car, I don't just buy a car in Tallahassee. Just go to any car lot in Tallahassee. No, I do a search, and I put in a search for 500 miles.
Yes, sir.
And then I'm looking at all the cars that fall into my category of what I want in the price range that I want it. You follow what I'm saying? Once I get in the price range that I want it, now here it is. I can have this car, but it might be costing me like a brand new Accord, but it's an Escalade. You follow what I'm saying? Right. I got the car that I want. I got in the price range that I want, but that means I may have to travel for it.
So
Darlene,
you won't travel for something new? A brand new car? You say you're only going to get a used car?
Don't buy any cars. Listen, I made that mistake a long time ago. I done bought new cars, and as soon as you drive off the lot, you upside down in the loan.
You're upside down. That's right. But
so if you're gonna buy a new car, should you pay cash? Is that the better way?
Okay. So the question is, so then the other question that would be is, how much money do you have in your emergency account?
Gotcha.
Because if you don't have enough money in your emergency account, why spend all your cash?
Oh, that's right. That's right. You want that liquid.
You want liquid cash. You want some, yes.
Okay, so I gotta address a couple of things. Darlene, the Escalade has a running board, so I will be able to get in it. Thank you very much.
I saw that. I didn't want to say nothing.
I expect that from JT, but not from my peoples.
Oh, God. I mean, I ain't done yet, because you still gonna need some tools to see over that steering wheel.
Whatever. I can get it custom the way it is for me.
Hey, you gotta put in a liquid account.
And who else? Oh, Miss Joy, yes, ma'am. I do need one. I need an Escalade in my life. I'm just trying to say, it's what I need. It's a need. It's a necessity.
It's Dr. Scott trying to help us out, and you ain't talking about you need an Escalade.
Listen, I would say this, and I've told my story before, and Lisa, you heard it. I've gone financially through some things that just, I mean, literally it hurt. Just to think about it now, I get emotional. You know what I'm saying? So to understand that, I can go from where I was, you know what I mean, and having a credit score of, abysmal, to now having a credit score over 700, having money in the bank, you know what I'm saying? Being able to say, you know what, I'm going to retire from my job. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not a spectacular person. It's just that, hey, I studied, I learned, I prayed, and every day I'm still working, trying to get there. And over the years, I give, I do believe in, sowing and reaping. So that's one thing I do. I make sure I give to people. Anybody that knows me knows I'm a giver. You
are definitely.
I'm a giver. If you go out to lunch with me, look at you, man. You just got paid for my suit. Put your hands back.
I'm waiting for my lunch, Doc.
Hey, let's do it. But all I'm saying is this: we must change our thought process and change our expectation. I can't expect to become wealthy and increase from where I am if my mindset says I can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I'm not saying it's going to be easy, and I'm not saying that you won't have some nights where you just want to put your head in the pillow and cry. You know what I'm saying? I've been there. I've done those things. But I will tell you is a small amount on a regular basis begins to build up.
Yeah. So just let me do a a couple of shouts out. So hey Sharon, all the way from Seattle, Washington, and my good friend Van Rowe. So glad you guys joined us. We're talking with Marvin Scott of LM3 Solutions. We have dubbed him the money guy of Kitchen Talk. And he has a new series that's actually coming up starting on, what is that, August the 7th?
Mm-hmm.
August the 7th, he will be doing First Friday Finance. So it'll be a live stream. He'll be talking about finance, and it's First Friday Finance starting this August. It's First Friday in August at 7:00 on YouTube channel LM3 TV. So we'll be putting that up on Kitchen Talk. We'll be putting his flyer up on Kitchen Talk. He is considered, and we're going to go ahead and coin this for him and put this on out there, your father in business. So he is going to be offering parental guidance to you getting your money together, your business, whatever it is in finance. So, and when we talk about, and he'll talk about this too, go ahead, tell him a little bit, Marvin.
I was about to ask that.
Well, one of the things is this, and I can remember, teaching some of my students, and my students would always tell me, "Oh, he gonna give life lessons 101." So when I was teaching in pharmacy school, and I never just went in class just to teach pharmacy school, but it was always I wanted to give more. I wanted to give back. I wanted to make you better than I am, and understanding that you have coaches, you have mentors. But if you've ever played sports, your best coach wasn't just a coach. He was like a father, or she was like a mother. They were like a parent. You follow what I'm saying? And so understand that sometimes we call people mentors, right? But these mentors are actually filling the void of father figures, because you can have a father in the house that don't understand money, that don't understand business, so forth and so on. And you need someone who's not trying to get something from you, but you need someone who wants to pour into you. And so that's one of the things I feel like, that I've been called to do for individuals that I work with, is to pour into people that I work with. It's not just for me to see what can I get from you, but it is how can I help you get to where you want to be.
I share that in my book, that you should have at least 8 mentors, because my father did it with me. He said, you know what, I know a lot and I've gotten a lot, but I can't give you everything. I want you to go and talk to my best friend, go and talk to my other friend, go and talk to this person, and they'll give you some of the information that I don't have. And a lot of times what they'll do is reinforce the information that I just gave you, because you didn't listen to me. But when you went to, brother such and such, you're like, you listened to what he had to say. So it's like that reinforcement. So having more than just that one person to go to, it makes sense.
Yeah.
What would your company, what's the basis of what you do, Doc?
Well, one of the things that we do is basically we do what's going to be called business coaching, personal coaching, life coaching. In that we do money management, wealth management, because my thing is I want to help you in every area that I can. The only thing that I'm not going to do is tell you how to invest your money, what to invest your money. So I'll tell you, get a professional for that, but how to set up a budget, because you can't become your best self if you're way down in debt and you're stressing on how to figure out how to pay this. And because I've been there, my wife will tell you, I develop a strategy. I have a working strategy where you learn how to pay rob Peter and pay Paul.
Right.
And seriously, I was sat down and I became so proficient in Excel on how to do these different things to make it work. So whatever I have that can benefit and help someone else, that's what I give. Really, I give myself, I give my heart to make sure that whatever you need, you're going to get it.
I got a question. How much debt is too much debt? I mean, I'm not really in debt, but how much debt is too much debt?
Well, that's a very good question. I never thought of it like that. I was thinking from the standpoint of good debt, bad debt.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, the truth be told, most of us have too much debt. I mean, I would say if you didn't have too much debt, then that means you'll be able to pay everything off. But most of us can't pay off our house. Most of us can't pay off our car. So if you want to look at that, then everybody, a lot of people we have too much debt. American society is a society of too much debt.
That's right.
Too much debt. You know, so when you have credit cards that exceeds your monthly salary, you know what I'm saying? That's too much debt. You know. But understanding we can shift that and not look for too much debt, but look at what's good debt, what's bad debt. You know what I'm saying? Credit card debt is bad debt. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't have a credit card, but what I'm saying is you shouldn't have several credit cards with the limit that's, you know what I mean? That's, again, to the point where, you know, monthly, you don't see how you're going to pay it off. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
So,
Doc, I think it's a great concept. What time on Fridays, First Fridays?
7.
Okay.
7 o'clock. First Friday, 7 o'clock. LM3 TV on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
It's going to be more like a conversation. You know, we talked about it's going to be, I'm going to try to do it where I'm not preaching, but it's like, I want to do it like I'm having a conversation with my boys. You know, one of the things that I would do with my boys is like if we're going on a trip, they got a basketball tournament, or we're going on a college visit somewhere, we get in the car, we're traveling for hours. Okay, now I got you. So this is a time where we have that conversation. You know, because other than that, you're in the house, you're out the house.
Right.
We'll sit down at dinner sometimes and talk, but for the most part, you know, we kind of talk in the car. And so it's just, I wanted to have it where we're talking, and then I'll try to share some of the things that's on my heart and see if we can really, you know, help people change their lives.
Very good, very good. I am like so grateful that you joined us tonight. I think that along with the other conversations we have to talk about this money thing. We got to find a way to open up this conversation and be a little more transparent about so that it's not so taboo, or that we're not fearful of money. Like I believe some people are actually fearful of, you know, not having enough, or like you say, if anybody find out I got it, oh my God, they're gonna, you know, whatever. And then on the flip side of that, you have scammers. I think Dion, one of our viewers for tonight, was saying, you know, we might try it, but it's scammers out there. So everybody takes this good thing, this wonderful system, and then they corrupt it. And so then you get to the point where you're like, well, no, I don't want to try it, because somebody has taken a wonderful concept that will work and corrupted it. And so now it's a whole, you know, and then we get, no, I don't want to, you know, tie my money up in that. Or I don't want to tie my money up in the stock market. I could lose it. Well, you're losing it anyway sometimes. So it's just this whole thing where we don't have this conversation about money. That's one of the things that I do love about Kitchen Talk, is that we talk about everything and we try to keep it 100. So I love it. Thank all of our viewers that are watching us today. So great to have you hanging out with us. Michael, our theme song writer, that wonderful theme song that y'all hear in the beginning.
Yeah, I like that.
Girl, she took care of that for us. I love it. And let's just keep this conversation going. Of course, Marvin, you know, you're a friend of Kitchen Talk. You will always be welcome.
Come back.
We're gonna have to have you come back, definitely. So glad JT was able to stay with us the whole night tonight. Yeah.
What we ain't gonna do, we ain't gonna bring no old stuff. Why you bringing up old stuff?
I would like to get one homework assignment.
Oh, we got homework. Okay, we got homework.
One homework assignment is to find the group that works for you.
Find the group that works for you.
Right. Find a group of people that will commit to you and you can commit to them. And then we can figure out some things. Because back in the day, they used to have groups that would sit down and invest together.
That's correct.
And they would do investment groups. One thing is
I'm actually a part of two.
Yeah. Find a group that you feel comfortable with, that works for you, so that if one person say, hey, we're going to get in this group with the Susu, you feel comfortable with getting in it because this is your group and it's been vetted.
That's correct.
Same thing. So find a group that works for you, and then see how we can change the world.
Doc, let's start a susu today.
Too much work. Too much work. Too much work.
You see what I'm talking about? Everybody want to go to heaven. Nobody want to die. They don't want to put in the work, Doc.
Hey, you gotta work it.
She wants that new truck.
You do have to work it. That is so true. That is so true. You definitely have to work it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You definitely have to work it. So
that was the time, man. Wow, it's 10 o'clock already.
Yeah, I know. It goes by so quick. It goes by so quick. So
that's my
again,
bedtime.
shout out to you, Dr. Marvin Scott, for hanging out with us today. Our Kitchen Talk Money Man with LM3 Solutions. Don't forget, he's going to be doing his live show First Friday Finance on LM3 TV at 7 o'clock every first Friday. LM3 TV every first Friday with Dr. Marvin Scott, First Friday Finance. And then Jamal, if you can put up the vote banner for us, we will not forget that. We always want to mention that. If you have not registered to vote at this time, you can't vote in the primaries, but you can still register to vote in the general election. So make sure you get registered to vote. Early voting starts August the 3rd here in Leon County. You can also do mail-in ballots. People, that's your voice. We cannot stress that enough. And everything that we talk about, our voting definitely affects our money and how it talks. So, hey, get out there, do your thing. Get out there, vote. Get your children when they turn 18, get them registered to vote. I can't. What you say, JT?
No more Trump. Hey, the only Trump I want to deal with is in Spain.
That's what I'm talking about. But thank you, everybody. Thank you for all those that watch. JT friends, y'all, my guys, I love y'all so much. And we're gonna see y'all next week, next Thursday, right here, 9 o'clock, and we'll be doing it all over again.
Hey, the conversation's good.
Don't forget to do y'all 100 push-ups before you go to bed.
I'm with you, JT. I'm with you.
Y'all go ahead.
I'm with you.
Y'all get some.
Y'all go ahead.
All of this going on.
All right. Thank you, guys.